Marcus wiped the sweat from his forehead and stared at the empty backyard. It was Saturday, and the sun was still high in the sky. He had just come home from another hard week at the factory. His boss had cut his hours again. Bills were piling up on the kitchen table, and worry sat heavy in his chest. But today, Marcus wanted to forget all of that, even if just for one evening. He pulled out his old grill from the shed and set it in the middle of the yard. The metal was rusty in some spots, but it still worked just fine. He lit the charcoal and watched the smoke rise into the warm air. For a moment, all his troubles felt far away. His wife, Carla, stepped outside carrying a bowl of coleslaw. "You sure you want to do this tonight?" she asked. "You look exhausted." Marcus smiled. "A little smoke never hurt anybody. Besides, I promised the Andersons and the Riveras I'd cook for them. Can't back out now." He walked to the kitchen and pulled a small jar from the back of the fridge. Inside was a thick, dark red sauce. It was his grandmother's recipe, one she had taught him when he was just a boy standing on a wooden stool in her kitchen. She used to say, "Good sauce doesn't need much, just patience and love." By 6 o'clock, neighbors began arriving with lawn chairs and cold drinks. Kids ran across the grass while the adults talked and laughed. The smell of the grill spread through the whole street, pulling in a few extra guests who weren't even invited. Marcus brushed his grandmother's sauce onto the ribs, one careful layer at a time. He watched the meat sizzle and turn a deep golden brown. When the first plate was ready, he handed it to old Mr. Anderson, who took one bite and stopped talking mid-sentence. "Marcus," he said slowly, "this is the best barbecue I've ever had in my life." Soon, everyone wanted a plate. People asked for seconds, then thirds. Someone joked that Marcus should sell this sauce in stores. Marcus laughed it off, but Carla caught his eye from across the yard. She wasn't laughing. She looked thoughtful, like she was already imagining something bigger. As the sun set and the last coals turned to ash, Marcus sat back in his chair, tired but happy. He had no idea that this small backyard gathering, filled with laughter and smoke, was about to change his entire life. Monday morning came fast, and Marcus was back at the factory, standing on the same tired assembly line. But something felt different. His phone kept buzzing in his pocket. During his lunch break, he finally checked it and found 5 messages from neighbors, all asking the same thing. "Can you cook for my daughter's birthday party? My cousin's having a graduation barbecue next month. Are you available? Do you sell that sauce anywhere?" Marcus stared at his phone, unsure what to think. He had cooked for fun, not for business. But the messages kept coming all week. By Friday, he had 4 requests for small parties, all from people who had never even been to his backyard barbecue. Word had traveled fast through the neighborhood. That night, Carla sat him down at the kitchen table with a notebook and a pen. "Marcus, I've been thinking," she said. "You have something special here. Your grandmother's sauce, your grilling skills, people can't stop talking about it. What if we did something with it?" Marcus rubbed his neck, tired from another long shift. "Carla, I already have a job. A cooking business is a big risk. We have bills to pay." "I'm not saying quit your job," Carla replied gently. "I'm saying, what if we started small? The farmer's market downtown has an open stall on Saturdays. We could bottle your sauce and sell it there, just to see what happens." Marcus thought about his grandmother, standing in her small kitchen, stirring the same sauce in a big pot. She never had a business. She just cooked because she loved it. But maybe there was room for both. The next weekend, Carla helped Marcus buy small glass jars from the craft store. They spent Saturday night in the kitchen, pouring the warm sauce carefully into each jar and sealing the lids tight. Marcus designed a simple label by hand, writing Grandma Rose's barbecue sauce in his best handwriting, with a small drawing of a smoking grill underneath. Sunday morning, they set up a small folding table at the farmer's market. Marcus felt nervous, standing behind a stack of homemade sauce jars, watching strangers walk past without a second glance. But then a woman stopped, picked up a jar, and read the label. "Grandma Rose's, huh? My grandmother used to make something like this," she said, smiling. She bought 2 jars. By noon, half the jars were gone. By closing time, every single jar had sold out, and 3 people had asked Marcus for his phone number to place bigger orders. Marcus walked home that evening carrying an empty box and a full heart. For the first time, he began to wonder if this backyard hobby could become something much bigger than he ever imagined. 2 weeks after the farmer's market sold out, Marcus noticed a woman taking photos of his stall with her phone. She wore a bright yellow scarf and moved with quick, confident steps. She picked up a jar of sauce, turned it over to read the label, and smiled at Marcus. "I'm Diane," she said. "I write a food blog called Tasty Streets. Mind if I try a sample?" Marcus handed her a small cup of sauce with a piece of grilled chicken. Diane took a bite, and her eyebrows lifted in surprise. She asked Marcus question after question. Where did the recipe come from? How long had he been cooking? Did he have a restaurant yet? "No restaurant," Marcus laughed. "Just a backyard grill and my grandmother's notebook." Diane snapped a few photos of the jars, the label, and Marcus standing behind his little table. "This story is too good," she said. "People need to hear about this." Marcus didn't think much of it. He went home, packed up his empty jars, and helped Carla make dinner. But the next morning, everything changed. His phone would not stop ringing. Diane's blog post had gone up overnight, with the headline, "This factory worker's backyard sauce will change your life." The article had his photo, a story about his grandmother, and a link to where people could find him. By breakfast, the post had thousands of shares online. Carla burst into the kitchen holding her laptop, her eyes wide. "Marcus, look at this. People are asking where they can order online. Someone from 2 states away wants 50 jars shipped to them." Marcus felt his stomach twist. This was more than he had planned for. He only had enough jars and sauce for the weekend market, not for hundreds of strangers across the country. That evening, he sat at the kitchen table, staring at a growing list of orders Carla had written down. His hands were tired from a full shift at the factory, yet his mind raced with numbers, ingredients, and time he did not have. "I can't do both," Marcus said quietly. "I can't work the factory line all day and cook all night. Something has to give." Carla reached across the table and took his hand. "Marcus, maybe it's time. Maybe this is the sign you've been waiting for." Marcus looked at the old notebook sitting on the counter, its pages soft and worn from his grandmother's hands. He thought about the risk, the bills, the fear of failing in front of everyone who now knew his name. But he also thought about the woman at the market who had smiled and said her grandmother made something similar. For the first time, Marcus began to seriously consider handing in his notice at the factory. The backyard hobby was no longer just a hobby. It was standing at the edge of becoming something real, and Marcus had to decide if he was brave enough to jump.